Why is there no light on? Boy, this pop is even warm. What the heck's going on? Hey guys, how's it going? We got a little different project here today. I came downstairs Friday morning. Was getting my breakfast ready to go. I opened the fridge door and it was dead in the doornail. No lights, no compressor on, no nothing, and it was cooler in the fridge, but it wasn't cold. So, excuse me. I stewed about it all day Friday, and up here the earliest, well, yesterday Friday was opening of deer season, so there was absolutely nobody around. Everybody was in the woods. So I called Sears, where this probably came from, and the earliest they can get out here is Wednesday, and I said, well, that's a ridiculously long time to go without a fridge, so let's see if we can't figure out what the heck is going on. I kept the appointment on Wednesday, worst case scenario, but I think I have a pretty good idea what it is. So let's move this beastie. Get to the back. Okay, so I took this plate off the back of the fridge. I did check the plug, everything's good in there. So that's not our issue. The plug the outlet has power. So I was looking at this circuit board yesterday morning in a desperation, and I noticed this little critter. Let's get you zoomed in on her. There's that one. Let's see, sorry about the light. There's that one. And then there is that one. Now if you notice, sorry my phone is... If you notice this one, it's got a little break in the middle there. It's like a fuse. So, I got to thinking, and we did have some very high winds yesterday. Gale force winds, gusting up to 40, 45, 50, which is not uncommon for around here. That's average. That's every day. So I'm wondering if there just wasn't a power spike that happened and took out that fuse. So I want to see if this is gonna, I'm gonna connect a little jumper wire between the two for a few minutes. There's no chance of any power outage right now. It'll be okay. I just want to connect a little jumper wire and see if the unit will power on and turn on. So let me grab my wire. This is just for a few minutes. This is just for a minute. This isn't anything major, So we're not going to hurt too much by being unprotected. Make sure we're not touching anything. Okay, so as you can see, I have a jumper wire. Sorry, I'll get you back in there. Basically bypassing the fuse in there. So I gotta reach over, you guys. We're kind of cramped quarters here because of this fuel line, or water line. So let me plug it in, I'll be right back. Okay, let's get ready to plug her in here and see what happens. Worst case scenario, we'll start a fire, right? Okay. Hearing some noises. Well, there you go. So, what it sounds like to me is that fuse is just shot. I'll do some other checks real quick, but I think we're good to go. So we'll solder in a new fuse, and away we go. I just unplugged it, so let's get to work. Okay, to show that we're actually doing this with some umbrella of legitimacy, here is the schematic actually from the service manual for this fridge I found online. Whoop. So, this is, oh God. This is the power circuit right here. So this is basically where the power cord connects into. And it comes in, looks like 2 wires. And it splits off, and then one goes to a fuse. So, if, like I said, we're looking back at our circuit board, you see that first fuse down below there is blown. So if that's blown, that would indicate part of our problem. Here's the other fuse up here that we know is good. And that's a 2 amp. And this is a, I don't know what it is, 9 amp? No, it's got to be more than that. I think it's a 20 amp fuse. Okay, we got that fuse bypassed. Everything checked out. This thing ran for a good 10-15 minutes without any problems. So, I did have to pull the board out to get it to operate, and I forgot to plug one thing back in. I did have to pull the board out in order to solder it. I had some major issues with things. Okay. Thought I was missing one. Okay. Everything else is plugged in, so let's get this little critter tucked away in there. Nice and snug. So anyways, yeah, it's bypassed. There's a new 15 amp fuse in there. The old wires didn't even get hot or anything. They were nice and cool, good amps. The amps were nice and low once it started kicking in. Well, let's see if this monster is going to work once we plug her in. This is just temporary for a few minutes, so I'm going to plug it in back into the wall in a minute. But well, as you can see, I have a different color wire in there now. Why it wouldn't work was because I think it just got so hot that the wires pulled right out of the insulation. Oops. So I put a new wire in the fuse panel here, and she's powering on. Of course, I had a big problem that thing started to come apart. It was just a nightmare. It's not pretty. Like I said, I don't have a very practiced hand soldering, but the only way to get practiced is by doing it. So it's powering on. We're going to tuck all this stuff back in, get our cover back on, and let her do her thing for a little while. I think we're good to go, though. So we'll come back on in a little while. Well, it's still running. It's been about a good hour and a half. It's definitely cool inside. So I think we got it licked, boys. So recapping what we did, we checked, we saw that fuse was broken, or blown, back there. We checked the amperage going through the line. We bypassed the fuse and checked the amperage. We soldered in an inline or fuse that we can replace again if necessary. And we saved ourselves probably about $400. So And I spent $100 at the hardware store today, but I mean I bought some other things too. I didn't buy just stuff for the fix the fridge. So maybe we spent, like I said, the price of a service call, which is about $90, $80 to $90. So the alternative to all of that is paying $1,400 for a brand new one. And the fridges today are lesser quality than the older fridges. This one was new in 2008, so it's 11 years old. Old fridge, but you know what? It hasn't had a lot of use. This house was a seasonal house before I bought it. So, but with that said, you know, that's how we fix a fridge. So thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing.